I'm Chrissy. Welcome to Pursuit of Momming. Winter is coming. If you're raising tiny humans in an area that gets freezing temperatures and snows, that means we are going to be spending a lot more time indoors in spaces too small for our children's energy. Even if the cold climate doesn't apply to you, there certainly are seasons we go through when we need to stay indoors or we have trouble giving our kids the attention they need. Sickness, pregnancy, newborns, pandemics. So I've put together some tips and tricks that I've picked up over the past few years and lumped everything into 6 categories. Going out, physical activities, toys we love, craft time, games, and other activities. Some of my suggestions involve screen time to various degrees, so I'll talk about regulating that as well. It's tough having young kids in an apartment. I currently have a toddler and a preschooler. During warmer weather, we go to the park nearly every day as we don't have our own yard and the apartment's playground is a bit dilapidated. But there are some options for going out in the winter depending on your comfort level. The library, indoor playgrounds. We used to live near one that was free, which was amazing. Museums, play dates with other friends, even using errands as a way to break up the day and break up the week. I usually let them browse books and toys, so it's not totally boring. And I just use the experience as a learning opportunity to talk about the food that we're buying, get them excited for meals, and learning about things around the house. And sometimes I let them pick a treat at the register too. You can also just bundle up and brave the elements, as long as there aren't any advisories telling you to stay indoors. Lots of families will take their kids out all times of year, all types of weather. It's great to experience all aspects of the different seasons, but some of us aren't all about that and need other options as well. So maybe you really don't want to be taking your kids out of the house right now for various reasons. You need some indoor options, some options in your own home. Most kids are jumping out of their skin if they don't reach a certain level of physical exertion for the day, some more than others, so we have to get creative with this when we're indoors. You can have a dance party where you just put on music. There are even kids' dance videos on YouTube that they could dance along to. There are exercise videos on YouTube, or you can come up with your own routine and have your own little gym class. Or there's the classic games like The Floor is Lava or Cushion Forts. We actually finally bought a nugget couch now that we have 2 active children this coming winter. So maybe I'll do a review of that after I get it. These toys are specifically to help burn energy. Last winter we got a small bounce castle. Just got it at Walmart. It doesn't take up too much space. We also got an indoor slide 2 years ago. That was a gift from an aunt and uncle. Those little fold-up tunnels. Some people get all sorts of additions for that. Tunnels, little ball pit. Lots of things for them to crawl through, and it folds right up when you're done with it. Our slide folds up too, but we usually just leave it open. We have a little bowling set that the kids like to play with too. They don't really understand how the bowling works, but they have enough fun running around with it. We have some other little balls and a little basketball net that goes over the door or whatever we want to put it on. So various little things for jumping around and running around in relatively one spot indoors. We also have a baseball tee but maybe not everybody wants their kids hitting balls inside the house. Craft time is a great way to break up the day, even though it doesn't necessarily burn their energy, it's just something to do. My kids love crafts, and I know not all kids will sit down and play for them for a very long time, but even if you can just get like 5 or 10 minutes, maybe more. Busy Toddler on Instagram is a great resource for different craft and activity ideas for different ages. She adapts them as young as 1-year-old and up to elementary school, maybe even older. I haven't really looked into that. And there are lots of different activities, even if your kid doesn't like artsy type things specifically. For younger kids, she loves bathtub activities, which a lot of families love. For me, it's more trouble than it's worth because we don't have a very good bath setup, but we do have a dog pool. I like that this pool folds up and doesn't need to be inflated. And I like to use it for water toys like buckets or this sink toy that we have, water bins, sensory bins, any other messy activities. If you're feeling bold, you can even use it as a little indoor swimming pool. Maybe not on carpet though, and have lots of towels ready. But anyway, check out Busy Toddler for all the different activity ideas she has. Art for Kids Hub is a YouTube channel that my son loves to use to learn how to draw lots of different things. Even though they would be in front of a screen doing this activity, they do pick up a lot of skills for drawing, so it's wonderful for budding artists. My son likes to draw all of his favorite characters and has learned lots of other fun doodles along the way. This would also be a good time to try a subscription like KiwiCo. They have boxes that they send out monthly filled with activities for a certain theme and information on that theme. Like we've gotten one on bugs and musical instruments and the rainforest, several others. We got 6 months of it last year, starting on Jonah's birthday in November. So that was perfect timing for winter and early spring. There are lots of games you can play with your kids. There are kids' action songs for all ages, but especially for little kids. You know, Itsy Bitsy Spider, Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Some games that you can play around the house with probably as young as 1-year-old. Simon Says, Mother May I, Hide and Seek. There are board games, which you might want to wait until they're 2 or 3 to try Candyland or Chutes and Ladders. My preschooler loves those games right now. There are puzzles for all ages, simple puzzles for toddlers and jigsaw puzzles for the older kids. My preschooler is really into tangrams, and he has been since he was 4, maybe younger. They both really love the VTech Write and Learn. It's like a magnet doodle with programming in it to help teach them letters and shapes. And it basically taught my son to write and draw, not even joking. He got it for his 3rd birthday, I think. And he's almost 5 and still loves it. And his sister, who's 1.5, really likes it too and already knows how to hold the pen. And there are also tablet games, so this would be screen time for sure. But there are educational ones that my son has enjoyed since he was about 2. Starfall.com has a bunch of free games, teaches them things like phonics There's a set of Curious George games, and it teaches them shapes and letters. I think those were the first games that my son played on our iPad. And there are a bunch of other things that I'm just lumping into a final category of other activities. So chores needs to get done, and it's easy to forget how much kids love to help, so we can use it as something to entertain them or keep them busy. So just find age-appropriate things for them to do. Mine have been able to handle helping with the dishes and laundry as young as a year old. Take the sharp and fragile things out of the dishwasher first. And then there's sweeping and helping set and clear the table for meals, even helping with making some of the meals, which I'm not great at including them in that. I would love to include them more, but the preschooler does help with sandwiches a little bit. This might be a good time to take a look at their toys, see what are their favorites, see what doesn't really get touched. Kids do better with fewer toys out. What you can actually do is have a toy rotation. So have some toys out, and after a while, switch them out for some other toys that you have put away into storage. And of course there are some favorites that you'll probably want to keep out for them, but the rest of it just switch out however frequently you feel like, just to keep things fresh and interesting. And then hopefully they'll play with them for longer. You might even want to do the same thing with books. And it's so good to read to kids. It really helps them with their speech and language development and just learning new things in general, and the bonding time and interaction. My son has become such a bookworm, and his sister is already following his footsteps because she sees him looking at books all the time. But having the books out is just also another thing that can give them something to do. It isn't an activity or anything like that, but try to keep your kids well fed and on a fairly consistent schedule. It doesn't have to be like a military regimen or anything like that, just like generally around the same time each day for when they sleep and when they eat. We usually have 2 or 3 snacks aside from their 3 meals for the day. So they do better with a predictable routine, and they do better when they're not hungry. And of course, I'll also mention just putting the TV on. There are shorter TV shows and clips that they can watch on the ABC app, like Sesame Street, Daniel Tiger, Curious George. They can watch whole episodes of them, which aren't really that long, or just short clips from them. There's a Disney Plus app with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Bluey. Those are just all shows that my kids really like right now. Or you can just put on a movie depending on how much of a break you need. So speaking of screen time will probably increase in the winter, and that's okay. We go through seasons and phases where it's a helpful tool, and I try to make it mildly educational or use it in conjunction with something else like the art videos or the exercise videos, but sometimes it is just to keep them entertained. So set a timer and give warnings so they aren't caught off guard when screen time is over. I definitely do see an effect in my 4-year-old when he's been getting too much screen time. He's more irritable or gets into the habit of it and expects it on a regular basis. And if you're getting to the point where you feel like you need to reel things in, just work your way back down each day and each week when you can. Of course, it's not an ideal practice to use screen time, but ideal practice is simply an ideal practice. That means we can't always put that into practice. So we do the best we can with whatever situation we're in. I also try to be deliberate with when I put it on. Sometimes I want to use it when I'm cooking to keep them out of the kitchen, or to keep them from having tantrums while I'm trying to focus on that. Sometimes I need it because I'm snapping and I need a break, and timing doesn't work to go out of the house. But I also want to make sure that I'm not creating positive reinforcement for poor behavior. So if they're acting out, I won't immediately put it on. I'll give a few minutes before I put it on. And I might even change my mind during that period and not put it on at all. I am by no means an expert, and I'm still quite a rookie compared to more seasoned moms that I know. But I hope that some of these ideas and tactics will help you enjoy the winter and time indoors with your little ones. I'll stick the products and resources mentioned in the description below, and leave me a comment. Let me know, what are your go-to activities to get through tough seasons? Thank you for watching. Solidarity, you can get through this. Bye.